I just want to welcome you here to the high school, Jersey Shore Area High School. It's the good Dr. Nate Carpenter, DPP Sports. That's right, Dog Pound Productions at www.dogpoundproductions.com. It is so exciting to be bringing you girls high school basketball. Looking forward to it. Thanks again, Vince Swartz, for all you do behind the scenes, making sure we're live. And I'm here with Doug Byerly. Doug, what do you think?
Hey, we are live. That's what counts, Nate. So you can get it all up and running, and there's no smoke coming out of the components. We're good to go. Again, thanks to Vince and all the sponsors. Was able to talk to one of our officials. We'll give the names of them here in just a minute. Bill Sementelli. Been doing this for 44 years, Nate. How about that? We see him a lot. Was here for the boys' game.
Bang.
About a week ago when the boys had a tough game against a very good Lewisburg team, but then were able to rebound, were the boys, with a big win on the road over the Milton Black Panthers. But we are here today in Jersey Shore High School Bulldog Gymnasium on a rare Saturday afternoon contest here with about a 12:30 kickoff.
Nice thing is, Doug, you and I on our typical schedules could sleep till 11 and get here. Yeah, right. I had 3 girls overnight last night at a sleepover and for the kids, and we're getting ready for Christmas. 'Tis the season. No Grinch is allowed here at the high school today. But, man, it's a privilege to be covering basketball. It is different. Troy comes to town. They're 3-1. They're on fire. And, obviously, they've played a really good opponent in Central Columbia. Shout out to Peyton Dincher up at Lemoyne College. The Dolphins up near Syracuse, only 2 or 3 years now, Division I. And they're taking their lumps. But she's doing really well, getting some playing time. But last year, Loyalsock ran all the way to the state title. Central Columbia stayed with Central Columbia beat Loyalsock by 25, and Troy stayed with Central Columbia by 13. That says a lot, even though you said Loyalsock's a little dinged up right now.
Yeah, so Troy actually comes in, and I just got the update from their score. I appreciate that. So they are actually 4-1 because they played a game last night. They played their first or second, let me look at the schedule, second NTL game against Wyalusing Valley. So their record coming in is actually 4-1, 3-1 on the road, 1-0 at home. Nate mentioned the game. They lost to Central Columbia to open the season, beat Cowanesque Valley 60-23, win over Canton 43-22, win over Northeast Bradford, who's usually not a bad girls basketball team, 51-36. And then last night, the Troy Lady Trojans win over Wyalusing Valley in the NTL game to come into today's Saturday afternoon ball game at 4-1. For the Lady Bulldogs, they come in at 3-2. Lost big to Crestwood. Win over Selinsgrove 36-25. Win at Mifflinburg 42-39. So a nice tight win there on the road. Beat Warrior Run 39-29. And then lost to Bloomsburg on the 16th, 33-26. So what you'll see of those scores, other than the Crestwood game, which was a run out, all of the games have been pretty close. So the Lady Bulldogs doing a transition year here without Peyton Dincher that Nate mentioned. A younger team. You'll see a number of the girls that played on the JV team up on the varsity as well. And mentioning the JV team, so the Lady Bulldogs able to get the win here in the preview game today. Jersey Shore 36, Troy 27. So a nice win for the JV Lady Bulldogs team. You see both teams warming up here. Troy will be in all red when they take those warm-up black jerseys off, and Jersey Shore will be in all white after they take their warm-up shirts off as well.
You know, we talked a little bit about the Northern Tier. We talked about some of these teams. You know, basketball is very different right now. You know, I see a little Insurgents in District 4. I think some of the quality plays actually in on the girls' side of the ball. Not to take anything away from the boys, but here's a Troy team: father, daughters. Jersey Shore, father, daughters. You're seeing a lot more fundamentals. You're seeing kids work really, really hard, and you know, it's nice to have a Saturday game to get a chance to kind of just settle in. It's rare to see high school girls covered like this. It's not to a disadvantage, but Coach Mike Shaw, Dave Shaw, very supportive with Keystone Leather. They're not going to like that shout out. That's tough. We appreciate them. You know, he's really trying to build something. They had a really tough game with Crestwood. I thought that was a miss score. But when I look at Crestwood, they're 5 or 6-0, and they are dominating the state. Look for them to make a deep run this year.
Well, and you talked earlier, Nate, about Loyalsock. So they ran all the way to and won the state final under the Dotsy girl, who, as announced, is going to Division I Bucknell right down the road. So great to see her stay locally and have a chance to see them play and do a nice job. Lady Bison, even though sometimes in the Patriot League, I think right now they're 3-7. They'll start Patriot League action. They're very competitive in the Patriot League last year. But Loyalsock is down a couple starters. And from the article, Chris Massey in the Sun Gazette, one of their key reserves went out early in that Central Columbia game. So one, playing against a very good Central Columbia team. Two, you're missing a couple starters in a key reserve. That one got away from the Lady Lancers. But with the Coach Jacobson at Loyalsock, they play a super tough schedule. So don't be surprised if the Lady Lancers are very good by the end of the year. But as Nate mentioned, Central PA basketball, some of the NTL teams, Northeast Bradford, this Troy team, very, very good over the last couple of years. And obviously the Lady Bulldogs have been really competitive as well.
Yeah, quick shout out. We just want to mention some of our sponsors. Without them, nothing happens. And I'll be honest with you, it's pretty expensive to cover games. Everything from liability and insurance to just internet and all the little miscellaneous things that come along with it. But shout out to Susquehanna Transit. You guys absolutely rock. Get on the bus. SusquehannaBus.com, 570-753-5125. Listen, they're looking for bus drivers all the time. I have several patients who happen to drive bus for them. I mean, they cover 5 or 6 school districts. It's a lot. Starway Roofing, StarwayRoofing.com, 814-281-9164. Central PA's highest rated roofing company. And Doug, you've talked about seeing their signs up everywhere, all over Lock Haven, kind of migrating towards the east a little bit. They've pretty much been at Bellefonte, Mount Zion State College, out that way, Lewistown, but they're coming our way. Steinbacher, Goodall, and Ursic. Listen, real quick shout out, Julie Steinbacher, your elder care and special needs law firm, PAElderCounsel.com, 322-2077. Bob Boob, First Choice, Century 21, 398-0690. Hey, listen, we're being different makes the difference. I mean, they are absolutely cutting edge. Booker, shout out to you. A lot of their realtors, fantastic. Clark's Expert Sales and Service, Ron Clark, 321-8206-1919, Lycoming Creek Road. Evergreen Wealth Solutions, Todd Rischel. It all starts with a conversation. You want someone to manage and strategically plan your future? Todd Rischel is the man. 1990 graduate, Jersey Shore High School. EvergreenWealthSolutions.com, 601-6960. And Jiffy Market, Alan, where would we be without those sandwiches? Sean's not with us. He's actually remodeling his house today. He's up on the hill, up in Nice's Hollow up there, doing some work. But, he's usually good for a couple sandwiches a day.
No question about it. Hey, so just a shout out. We mentioned that we covered the boys game last week against Lewisburg. Tough loss there against a very good Lewisburg team. But the boys are off now until the new year. They played Loyalsock last night. We'll have to see if we can get a score for that. But then on January 2nd, they're at Wellsboro. January 5th at Northumberland Christian. And then January 7th against Central Mountain here at Jersey Shore High School. So a busy start to 2026 for John Boob and the boys basketball team of the Jersey Shore Bulldogs.
Yeah, that's right. We are live, as you can see, across the stands right now. They're starting to filter in. It's Saturday. It's game time. Can you believe it? I'll tell you something, Doug. I got you those little Christmas trees filled with peanut butter for a reason. I'm expecting your A game. Shout out to Doug Birdsong, Quick Bucknell. Man, I know you had a chance to interview him. I wanted to get down. I had a million things. I had guitars breaking, all kinds of things I had to take care of. But Doug Birdsong has been the voice of Bucknell, the Bisons, for so long. I can't wait to hear that interview. We're going to have some tailgates and testimony coming up. Coach Tony Owens is going to do one particular. We've got potentially Dominic Bragalone and some others. They're just going to share their journey through athletics and what their faith means to them. And so we're excited about that. And we're not going to vacate completely. Saw Nick Tagliaferri pop in the gym, did the first game, the JV game with Albert Jones, AD of LHU, Lock Haven University, the Commonwealth University now. And Nick is going to probably sit down too and talk. I know he misses coaching, but he's got young kids, and we know how difficult that is, even for Coach Hale.
Well, that's why he's not in the game. Normally, particularly on a Saturday, the officials in girls basketball often do both games, and they'll switch roles in those games. Nick had to leave for an elementary basketball situation down in Hughesville, probably with one of his young kids. So Bill Sementelli, you see him on the Troy side there. He is the elder statesman, been doing this for 44 years. Albert Jones, as Nick mentioned, and then Mike Kresovich is the third official here for the varsity game here tonight, talking with the captains from both teams, kind of getting the ground rules and all of that in place, coaches as well. And Nate mentioned head coach Mike Shaw leads the way. Josh Smith is the assistant, along with Avery Hess and Patty Hess for the Jersey Shore Bulldogs. For Troy, Stephen Renzi in the red jersey there is the head coach. You'll see his daughters, two of them, in the starting lineup, and then Abby Herman and Tony Sterling are a coach and statistician for the Troy Lady Trojans. Again, coming in at 4-1. Should be a tough matchup here. You'll see the girl warming up just shot the free throw. Troy has some height here, and that is something. Without Peyton Ditcher moving on to the college level, Jersey Shore a little bit height challenged here as they have that transition here with a lot of young players.
Absolutely, and you know as well as I do, when you get to that 5'10", 5'11", 6-foot arena in high school girls basketball, you really are a tree amongst the smaller shrubbery. Anyway, Blaze Alexander Kia, Doug Hilliard, 570-494-0121. BlazeAlexanderKia.com. They take the deals the other guys won't. Best auto sales, man. I'll tell you, 555 High Street. You can stop into Taco Bell. They're right next door now. 570-748-8000. We appreciate you, John Best. The Flemington auto sales and service, oil changes, inspections, and emissions. Amazing. Tanner Dover, Spike Adventure Realty, 502-1854. Thank you, Tanner. SGO Service Garage. We appreciate you, Kenny Pick, 9230220. And Fisher Insurance Agency.
So we're going to see the starting lineups. It should be the following for Troy: number 20, Woodward; number 22, Renzi, that's Isabella; number 23, another Renzi, Gianna; number 32, Kaya Renzo. I hope that's not a typo, and if it is, we'll correct it. And then number 33, Emma Mickley, I believe, are the starting lineups. But we'll do the national anthem here coming up first.
At Susquehanna Trailways, getting behind the wheel isn't just a job, it's an honor. It's a front row seat to the world, from the bright lights of New York City to the historic charm of Baltimore and breathtaking trips across America. As a Susquehanna Trailways driver, you become the host of unforgettable experiences. Whether you're guiding students safely to school or helping a family create lifelong memories on their next big adventure, you're more than a driver. You're part of the journey, part of the story, part of the Susquehanna Trailways family. And right now, Susquehanna Trailways and Cam Kephart are looking for passionate, dependable individuals to join the team. Step up to the plate. Your seat is waiting. Flexible schedules, competitive pay, an opportunity to see the world and bring people together 1 mile at a time. Get on the bus. Join the tradition. Apply today. At Starway Roof Systems, roofing isn't just a job, it's a calling. We believe excellence isn't optional. It's our standard. From the first nail to the final shingle, we do all things to bring glory to God and to serve our clients, communities, and coworkers with a pure heart. Whether it's replacing a storm-worn roof or giving back to a neighbor in need, we lead with honesty, act with
So starting lineups again coming out for Troy. We believe it's number 20, Woodward; number 22, Isabella Renzi; number 23, Gianna Renzi; number 32, Kyra Renzo; and number 33, Emma Mickley. And then for Jersey Shore, we were told the starters are number 10, Avery DiPasquale; number 11, Marley Lehman; number 15, Kylie Shaw; number 22, Graceland France; and number 14, Sadie Shaw. See if that holds true here. For Troy, it looks like it is.
Yeah, the France girl, she's really talented. I played with her father, Billy, in high school, and he was always a worker, a grinder, and he used to pound the boards. And so she has been getting some looks, got some playing time as a freshman, so hats off to her. That's impressive.
And you can definitely see the height advantage for Troy. Emma Mickley, number 33. She is the big girl in the middle at 5'11". As Nate mentioned, anytime you have that 5'11", 6-foot height, you really do have a little bit of advantage. You would have to expect that Coach Renzi and the Troy Lady Trojans are going to try and take advantage of that. We'll see what Coach Mike Shaw and the Lady Bulldogs do to try and combat that. Again, pretty young roster for the Lady Bulldogs. Again, anytime you have a a 4-year starter, Division I type athletes, as Peyton Dincher move on, kind of have that transition. But Coach Shaw's really done a nice job. And again, the JV girls able to get a nice win today. 36-27, Lady Bulldog JV team winners in the preview game here this afternoon. Troy and Mickley ready to jump off here against France. Center court, again, the officials, Albert Jones, Mike Kresovich, and Bill Sementelli.
It's about that time, Doug Byerly. It's go time here. I'll try not to step on your toes as much as I did the previous game. Troy gets the possession over the timeline. Going to set up the half-court offense. To the wing. Good defense by the Lady Bulldogs.
Yeah, very aggressive at the JV level as well.
Down inside, 32 up and good.
Renzo with a nice turn in there, good position, led to that basket. A little bit of half-court token pressure here, trying to get the turnover, got the tip out, but it will stay with the Lady Bulldogs.
Nice officiating crew headed by Albert Jones here, sideline. Avery DePasqua gets the ball inbound. Really aggressive. Troy's trapping here. Down the lane to the middle. Franz, 15-footer, up and good. Gets the friendly roll.
Yeah, really nice roll there. That's nice. A little bit of penetration, set up that basket. Pretty good pressure here by the Lady Bulldogs as well, so pressure on both sides.
Troy, nice pass. Good look. Number 20 with a layup.
And that's what pressure will do. Pressure will either get you a turnover or usually give you up a layup. On the other side, did there for Troy, so they lead 4-2. Ball stays with the Bulldogs here.
You know, Raylan Woodward able to take that last layup up nice smooth. Marley Lehman handling the ball mostly for the Bulldogs. To the wing. That's rejected, blocked, out of bounds. Going to stay here, possession. It's going to stay with the Bulldogs.
Isabella Renzi with that tip out of bounds, but again, inbounds underneath for the Bulldogs.
Bulldogs into Shaw. Shaw gets it back to Lehman. Lehman looking to reverse. Nice back to Shaw. Shaw wanted to pull the trigger. The second Shaw up. No good. Franz pounding the boards.
That's a nice left-hand shot there on the rebound by Franz. Very good skills for only a sophomore at 5'10".
Boy, Troy just little dribble, very little dribbling. I'll tell you, that's impressive when you don't put the ball on the ground and just make those open passes.
Bucket there again by Woodward on the press.
DePasqua.
No
good.
A little bit quick shot there in the set.
Well, I'll tell you, Troy's going to be tough to beat with that. You know, Woodward just down, cherry picking a little bit there, but wide open. Head on a swivel.
Good vision there by the pass, the assist to set that one up. Yeah, you can see Troy's very well coached. Again, Coach has Renzi has 2 daughters on the floor, just like Coach Shaw, his daughter beside him on the bench as well, not playing golf, and they told me at Susquehanna University.
Yeah, she was a fantastic player. Really handled the offense well, kind of a quarterback mindset. We talked about this being a slower paced game, Doug. I think we were off. Franz at 15, tries to dump it down inside. It's a scrum for the ball. It's going to be jump ball. The arrow's going to go to Bulldogs' way, so we're going to stay right here.
Yeah, and that's what you'll see a lot with the girls' games. A lot of times when the ball goes on the floor or gets mishandled, you'll have a tie-up because girls are not strong enough to kind of pull that away to keep possession.
Franz, boy, bodied up inside. That's going to be a jump ball.
Arrow goes to the Troy Lady Trojans. They are up 8-4 here, 5:38 to go first quarter.
Renzi passes it up. Franz makes some contact, out of bounds. Albert Jones on the call. It's going to stay here at Troy's end. Both teams really trying to get in your face, play some difficult man-to-man.
Good defense here by Franz because the Troy Lady Trojans had a person open underneath.
Woodward passes it to nobody.
Trying to get that inside to Mickley, but boy, she was only about 3 feet away.
That was a dart.
Airmailed that one. Mickley not ready for that, not able to handle it. So the turnover ball goes back to Jersey Shore. DePasqua
going to try to bring this over the timeline. Good pass to the open Lehman. Lehman into France. France turns, kicks it at weak side. Nice pass. Good offense. Lehman pops. No friendly roll on that one. They're hustling.
France is good. You can tell. She, as a sophomore at 5'10", she's got some good instincts inside there. Nate, you mentioned her dad was a nice player in your time era. Sophomore again. Number 10, DePasqua is the only senior on the roster that actually there's none. Lainey Loomis is a senior as well, but not starting yet in this ball game. So, again, a very young roster. France able to make that first foul shot.
We talked about that. That was a nightmare the other night when we were covering the boys' game, was just the fact that free throws were an issue. France up. Second is good as well.
Really nice left-handed delivery there. Really smooth, good motion on those foul shots. 8-6 here early on. Troy leads.
Over the timeline, Troy looking ahead. Kicks it weak side. Nice penetration. Stops, pops, and good. That was Renzi.
Gianna Renzi on that basket. They're very good at breaking that press.
France gets it up to the corner to Lehman. Lehman reverse pick to Pasqua. Into France. France turns. Nice lay. Nice little jump hook.
Good set there for the Bulldogs to keep this one close. 8-10. Troy in the lead. First time we've seen Troy get the ball inside to Emma Mickley, but I'll tell you, Nate, I'm impressed. Troy, very well coached. They do a great job against the press. They don't dribble much, as you mentioned earlier. Pass the ball, and that's the way to break the press. Leads to a foul shot opportunity here for Mickley.
Yeah, you talk about the 5'11". Not only is she 5'11", but she's a strong girl and up and good. Nice touch on the free throws. But both teams fundamentally well coached. I can see, they're trying to set up an offense. They're trying to get multiple touches on the offensive side of the basketball, and they're playing really good aggressive defense. France, just doesn't get it. 15-footer up, no good. France boxed out better that time. Good job on the boards. Lehman over the timeline. Lehman's going to look up. Nice fake, head fake, goes up just short off the rim.
That's a good take there by Lehman against good pressure.
Up and good. Nice layup on the play.
Isabella Renzi, I tell you that the press breaking skills of Troy is the reason they're up 13-8 here early in the ball game.
Well, and the problem there is you really have no time to sleep. Aslan Dincher there, Troy's playing so aggressive. If you bring that ball down, it's going to be tied up. And 8-13 is the score. Jersey Shore is down 5 with the inbound play. They've really been looking nice on this play, too. Quick pop to Pasqua. Up and good.
Just inside the three-point line there. Had her foot on it, but a nice set. Nice play out of bounds. Yeah, not surprised to see Jersey Shore back off on that press a little bit.
Yeah, nice job. DePasqua has the ball. Going to swing it weak. Troy's playing aggressive.
Yeah, pass that ball, girl. Keep that dribbling to the minimum.
Kylie Shaw gets it up to Sadie. Rejected. France is there. They're going to call the foul. So France, I'll tell you, one thing I like about her game is she knows where the ball is. She's got kind of like that magnetic personality when it comes to the game. We talk about in football, you got field sense. She's really doing well on the offensive boards.
Yeah, good possession there. So the push leads to the inbounds for the Bulldogs.
Kylie over to DePasqua. DePasqua to Sadie. Looking to get it down inside to France. France going to turn, kick it back out. Up. Oh, just in and out. What a nice play, though. We don't see that a lot in high school basketball, is that kick it down inside, kick it back out. That was nice. Troy is aggressive offensively, though. It's a travel, but they got away with it. Good defense. Good hustle.
Yeah, good hands there off the leg of Woodward for Troy. Leads to that turnover. Troy really does a nice job of keeping their offense spread out to give their players a lot of room to operate on the offensive end. But got the turnover there, did the Bulldogs.
Oh, just overthrown. Going to go back down the other way on the turnover. All of a sudden, things getting a little sloppy. Foul on DePasqua. But you talked about court spacing, Doug. That is so important offensively. You keep the court spacing, then you know it's hard for one person to guard two people.
Yeah, you can't bunch up in basketball. Got to give yourself space to operate. Troy with the inbounds here to Meckley. They do a nice job. A really good double team there, though.
Watson gets the ball up to Renzi. Gianna back outside, kicks it. Bad one up, 32. Kaya Renzo, not Renzi. They got Renzis and Renzos.
Yep, got a nice three there, and that's going to be a turnover there by DePasqua. Just got to remember, under that pressure, you do have to dribble. You got to put it down on the floor first, but then use the pass to advance the ball. So Troy gets another turnover after a three, looking to extend this lead. They are up 6, 16-10, 2:21 to go.
Gianna Renzi, she controls the offense here. Going to get the ball up. Nice spacing as you talk, Doug. They're going to look to reverse this. Kick it down inside. Woodward up. She got a gift there.
Yeah,
there was contact, but it's almost that out of control.
Yeah, I'm going to get the foul there against Sadie Shaw, number 14. And if you look at the roster for Troy, they have no seniors. Sophomore, 2 freshmen, another sophomore, 2 freshmen, 1 junior. That's Gianna Renzi, leads the offense, as Nate mentioned. 3 more sophomores, Ajuna Emma Meckley is a junior and sophomore. So a very young ball club here for Coach Stephen Renzi, coming in this ball game at 4-1.
Second shot up and good. Boy, the foul shots are definitely going in tonight. Lehman going to kick it down inside. No, gets a pick by Dincher. Dincher's going to reverse it again.
Yeah, it's so hard to teach when you're in that position. You have to make yourself big. Yes. You got to spread yourself out to not allow the defender to have a chance to reach around. Dincher did not do that. The defender able to reach around, get a hand on the ball, and force a tie-up. Another turnover for the Lady Bulldogs.
So 18-10 is the score with 1:47 to go here in the first quarter. Troy's going to pop Woodward from downtown. No good. Rebound by Loomis. Kylie to Lehman. Lehman's going to stop. She's going to pop. That's good.
Nice three. First three of the ball game. Second three of the ball game, I believe, for the Lady Bulldogs. Really nicely done there by Marley Lehman.
Kicks it to the weak. Down inside. Good penetration. Going to try the ball reversal. Lots of ball movement. Boy, this is disciplined offense. No fun and gun here. Lots of touches. Good defense by France. 5-second call. Bang.
Yeah, going to end up being actually a 3-second call in the lane, but you probably could have got the 5-second tie-up as well.
Hold on, buddy. There we go. We got one of those back. You're right. 3 seconds in the paint. They're building a s'more. Fire side. Down inside. Up. Ooh, nice take. The difference there, Doug, she didn't put the ball on the ground. She didn't bring the ball down. She went right up with it.
Really nice job there by Lena Loomis, one of the seniors on the Bulldog roster. Senior at 5'7". Going to get a chance here from the free throw line. See if they can narrow this lead, 18-13.
I'm telling you what, I'm putting my money on the foul shots. Wow.
Really nice on both teams. Good form. Second one does roll out. Under a minute to go here, first quarter. Troy leads 18-14.
Again, Troy, I love disciplined basketball. You know, people can talk about, I don't like this game or that game. Good defense by the Bulldogs. Lehman's she hit her last three. We'll see if they can't set something up and get a good look. There's a travel. Right when I said set something up, you know, just a little quick.
Yeah, she saw where that ball should go, did Marley Lehman, but just not able to get control of that to make a quick pass. Another turnover here for the Lady Bulldogs. Have to see if Troy goes for that one shot.
Marley's only a freshman. She lives at the outdoor courts as well. She's a hard worker. Ball reversal, Woodward. Woodward's going to take it, going to kick it weak. Over to Watson. Watson. Renzo wanted to pop that, doesn't pull the trigger. France out front, playing some tough defense. Stops. That's one from downtown. No good. Troy hustles for the ball. Lehman's there. We're going to call a tie-up. Well, she took that shot from from Lock Haven.
Yeah, that was downtown because Shaw was going to try and get a timeout there if the tie-up didn't come, but it did, and the arrow in favor. 7.6 seconds to go, so plenty of time here to get a shot off if you're the Lady Bulldogs, but token pressure here by Troy to try and prevent that.
You know, the Dogs were down 8 at one point, and DePasqua gets the ball down inside to France. France turns. Oh, just misses. It was a good look. They got a really nice look on that. So you can't hate the fact that they got an 8-foot look.
Very good play there. Ball does not go in, however, so a very productive offensive first quarter, particularly for the Lady Trojans. 18-14 they lead over the Lady Bulldogs of Jersey Shore.
You know, Doug, I can't help but talk about integrated accounting and consulting services. You know, Lewisburg has a really nice boys basketball team right now, as does Warrior Run. My goodness, they're loaded, and they went to a 59-56 battle. Warrior Run took that the other night. But integrated accounting and consulting, when it comes to Brandon Best, Dan, and Laura, you know, they want to handle all your business accounting needs, from payroll to bookkeeping, CFO responsibilities with strategizing and planning for your future business growth. You can't beat them. 484-1947. That's integrated ACS, accountingservices.com. 120 Cambridge Lane, Lewisburg, PA, 17837. Devlin's Auto Glass. If it's cracked and needs replaced, they even do the commercial stuff, hail damage, hit a deer. They can do it better, faster, and more affordable. That's Devlin's Auto Glass. So what do you think, Doug? First quarter, you know, here's what I'm impressed. The girls and boys game, one thing I've noticed, both of these teams are well coached. Here's what you can say. Regardless of the freshmen, the underclassmen, they're well coached, and they're trying to run an offense and do things with excellence.
Yeah, very nice first quarter. 18-14 Troy leads. They will inbound it to start quarter number 2.
DePasqua on the ball handler. That's Renzi. Renzi gets it up to Woodward. Woodward's going to kick it over to Renzo. Top of the key. Good defense by the Bulldogs. If there was a shot clock, we'd be pulling.
Yep, really good man-to-man defense there. A little bit of a hold against Troy. Don't normally see that, but a little grab as the defender was trying to get around. Yeah, exactly.
I think we're talking football here.
Yeah,
a little secondary madness. So Albert Jones on the call today. Look at Albert. Commonwealth University doing a fantastic job up there. No longer interim. He is the athletic director. Lehman gets it over to the Pascal. They're going to reverse it. Nice kick. The Pascal pulls it. Oh, just off. Nice ball movement, though.
Yeah, you have to take that shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to take that shot. You're open, and you can make that shot. But then what often happens is you're a little frustrated that you didn't get the shot, and then the Pascal gets the foul afterwards as well. So, again, in high school basketball now, they keep track of the fouls by quarter. So you'll see number 1 foul on each team in quarter number 2. You get to 5, you go into the one-on-one in each quarter of high school basketball.
I'm glad you researched that, Doug.
Renzi, Gianna, really controls things for this Troy Lady
She
Trojan
is
team.
exceptional. Mickley gets it to Woodward. Woodward's going to try and pop from 15. She gives the ball up. Watson back to Meckley. Meckley's going to take France. Nice defense by France. That's short. Boxes out. Lehman, good job on the box. Sadie Shaw gets it over to Kylie. Kylie pulls it. This one's good. She rains that from the rafters.
Good ball movement leads to a good shot there. Another 3 brings the Bulldogs within 1.
And that's not typical Troy there. One touch and fun and gun. Lehman gets the ball. Just over and that's just so frustrating because you hit that 3, you have an open person, and, you know, Coach Mike's not losing it on that. He always looks dapper too, man. He always has a tie and he always looks good.
Turnover leads to Troy with that 1-point lead. Retain possession here. We'll see if they take a little more time off of this offensive set.
Woodward head down, kicks it over here to Renzi. Renzi's she's got room. Good block by France. Nobody was ready for that. Lehman's fighting. I'll tell you what, man, she packs a punch.
Yeah, you have to be impressed. Marley Lehman, 5'4", only a freshman, but you can see she has settled into that role here at the varsity level. Not intimidated at all, fights there and gets possession for the Bulldogs.
Well, she's a freshman. Try to get that into front. But
and Lehman will learn there, Nate. You kind of throw that pass from a little too far away. You got to get a little closer to your defender and hook that around to get that to Franz, who had good position down low. But the Bulldogs retain possession.
You know, Sadie Shaw's a freshman too, so they're quite young. Lehman's going to kick this out to Kylie. Kylie's going to pull. She takes a step back. Oh, this one's just long.
That's a good move to get open.
Troy up 18-17. They're 5:31 to go. Good defense. I'll tell you what, these girls are in shape.
Yeah, and that's good coaching to have good defense where you're reaching in, not getting the fouls.
And you can see where it's wearing on the offense. That's the last couple three-pointers that completely missed the mark. That one's long. Good Lehman. Look at Lehman. 5'4". She's got the last couple boards. She's right where the ball is. Give it up. Dincher. Dincher gets it into Franz. There was a little push there. Boy, they missed that one.
Yeah, a little hook there on the defense. Kind of caused France to lose her footing a little bit and then knock that out of bounds. So another turnover. The Bulldogs have had 2 or 3 opportunities, down 1, 18-17 to take the lead. 4:55 to go here, second quarter. They have not been able to do that. So Coach Shaw said, hey, let's get a little pressure here, see if we can get a turnover and a layup on our own.
Where the Dogs extend it. Back to Midward. That's almost back court. Very close. Woodward's going to pull from 15, and she hits it.
Yeah, they had the trap that they wanted, but didn't get the turnover. Leads to a wide open look for Troy.
That was not a good look. Leads to transition. Troy has numbers. Woodward up. Nothing there. Good fight by DePasqua. Kick it up to Renzi. Gianna Renzi's going to set things up here. Woodward. Now they're back to the discipline.
Yep, Jersey Shore settled into the matchup zone here. 2-1-2 look.
But I'll tell you what, everybody's hustling. Going to try to get another good look. Well, they like that three-point line, don't they? Down inside, good fight. Good fight.
Yeah, I was just going to say, number 32 has to get out of that lane. She's going to get a 3-second call, and exactly did.
They have a campsite set up there up at Happy Acres, I think, right now inside that paint.
Well, 32 made a nice move inside Kyla Renzo, but then never got that ball out, and that's what Coach Renzi is saying. Hey, good move inside, but you got to get the ball out, and then you got to get out of that lane, clear the lane. Troy leads 20-17, 3:52 to go here in the second period. Really good matchup here, Nate, even though you see that Troy has a little bit of a height advantage, maybe a little bit more of an experience advantage. Jersey Shore's a good matchup with them here this afternoon.
You know, I got to be honest with you. It's one reason why I like high school sports. You know, the NIL's kind of ruined it for me at multiple levels. And I know it's a different game, and you can talk about the Notre Dames of the world and all these other universities that did or didn't make the playoff. But the thing about high school, you're playing for the love of the game, even though the NIL is creeping in. But I just like fundamentally sound basketball. I really do. That's one reason why I've always liked the Patriot League. It might not be as shiny in some cases, but when you go to a Bucknell game and you see a couple of schools battle it out to the buzzer, they play 4 quarters, the offensive, defensive, and the turnovers are limited. The offense is setting things up. The defense is boxing out. I'll take it. I've even seen the inside-out game tonight a little bit, or I keep saying tonight, but today a little bit. Kick it down, kick it back out, reverse the ball, little high post, little to reverse it. Not as much dribbling as I've seen in some of the boys' games. So I'm enjoying this.
So after the 3.3-second turnover, Jersey Shore inbounds that.
Lehman's going to handle the pressure. Sadie Shaw over to Kylie. Down inside. Oh, just couldn't handle it.
Oh, got to get that shot up there. Sadie Shaw inside the lane. Good ball movement there. But a turnover.
Nice little pick game there. Oh, up and under. Missed it. Good block by Sadie Shaw. Lehman fights for it. We'll see what this is. Oh, the Dogs might have gotten a little
Mike Kresovitz not real sure about that call, but he gives it to Jersey Shore on the hustle play. So, again, good defense, but the offense has stalled a little bit here in the last couple of minutes for the Bulldogs. Going to get a bucket here. Yeah, really trying to force that inside. Not a good pass. Trying to get that to Franz. Leads to another turnover for the Bulldogs.
Reversal. Down inside, up and good. The Lady Bulldogs going to bring the ball back up this side of the court. Kicks it back, Sadie Shaw from the corner. This one's off the mark.
DePasqua with the scramble and layup underneath. Keeps that lead at 1 for Troy, 20-19. Nice play there.
Good job by the Bulldogs bringing this one back up over. Nice move.
By 1-on-1. Really nice move there. Not able to get the layup, and a good hustle rebound there by the Troy Trojans. Going to lead to a foul shot opportunity here for Kaya Renzo. So the Troy Lady Trojans, Stephen Renzi, they're a little bit more set in who they substitute. They go with about 5-6 players for the most part. Bulldogs go a little bit deeper under Shaw. Miss there by Renzo. Keeps a lead at 1 for the Troy Lady Trojans. And we have a substitution here. Loomis coming in.
It's been an exciting game, Doug. You know, I'm actually finally starting to settle in a little bit, you know, and you and I are acting more like a married couple.
Second foul shot, good.
Getting in rhythm.
Takes that lead to 2.
Sadie Shaw going to get it over here to Lehman. Lehman inside. Going to look a little too much dribbling there. Too much.
She had the penetration there and then didn't have anything. When you do that, you need to circle out and then move the ball via the pass. But the Bulldogs have maintained possession.
The pass with Lehman. Going to try to get this one inside. Right now, Franz out of the game. Sadie Shaw, high-low jack in game. DePasqua, boom!
That is going to give the Bulldogs the lead to 3 by DePasqua. Very nicely done.
Woodward inside the three-pointer. Woo! They're raining Jays.
Trading three-pointers. Both sides of the team. Troy retakes the lead 23-22. They actually said that was a 2, not a 3. Hard off the rim there for the Bulldogs, but they get the offensive rebound. Lehman.
Oh, that was nice. Kylie Shaw with a great rebound. Set up Lehman. Lehman just misses the floater. Oh, nice left by Woodward.
Really nice job by Woodward there. Boy, only a sophomore used the left hand. You don't see that a lot at the high school level, and if you can do it, big advantage there. 25-22, Troy stretches that lead out to 3.
Kylie Shaw pulls from deep. This one's off the mark. Good hustle, though. Lehman, she steps back, gets some space, just long. Ooh, that's going to stay here.
Yeah, good battle by DePasqua there to force that tip out by Troy. Going to have substitution here. Dincher coming in, replacing DePasqua. Franz getting a nice break here after playing almost the whole way here. 58.3 seconds ago here, first half.
Kylie Shaw looking to inbound the ball here to Dincher. Dincher's looking, and there's a tie-up.
You know, you talk about that, you cannot bring the ball down. You bring it down by your waist, you're going to get tied up. And the defenders did a great job there getting that double team for the tie out, and they get the arrow their way to the Troy Lady Trojans.
You know, and I don't want to be overtly critical, but that's 3 tie-ups. And so, you know, they'll address that. It happens. Lots of pushing. Oh, good defense. Oh, and they're going to call that. Don't like it.
Yeah, that's a good dip under, though. You know, you forced the contact, right. and you were under control as an offensive player. That's why you usually get that call.
Now we're acting like a married couple. See, we're bickering. But here's what I can tell you. She addressed contact at 15 feet. I agree. It's a great move. I just thought they'd let him play through it.
Yeah, Kaya Renzo on the foul line, rims that one out. So score 25-22, Lady Trojans, 39.9 to go here, second quarter.
Oh, that one's off the mark.
That banged it hard.
Oh, so they got They got Woodward with the foul before.
Yeah, and I think that would have stayed with the Lady Bulldogs because Lehman threw that off of red there, but they got the foul instead.
Yep.
Only Troy's second foul of this second quarter. Pasqua comes in again here for the offensive possession for the Bulldogs.
Good movement. Sadie Shaw from Kylie. Sadie kicks it over to the Pasqua. They're going to look to reverse this ball. Comes the ball reversal. Nice move. Sadie pulls it. Oh, boy, that looked good.
I tell you, Lehman is a very good rebounder, very good instincts for a 5'4" guard. That is a real nice trait to have.
I'm telling you, she lives at the courts. That girl just has a hunger for the game. But good ball movement there by the Bulldogs. Lady Bulldogs really doing what they can fundamentally. Down 22-25, 20 seconds to go. Let's see if they play for the last shot. All the way around. Sadie's going to pull it just off the mark. There's Lehman again. Oh, I wish she'd have put that one in. Scrum for the ball. They're going to call jump ball. Good hustle by Loomis.
Yep, tie up will go the way of Troy. They have 5 seconds to go, and they've done a great job of advancing. But Coach Shaw going to say, hey, we got to get some pressure here, not allow them a free run to half court. Asking for a little confirmation on exactly what that last foul call was and if there's any adjustment on the time. Oh, so you must have had a little bit of a... Oh, so there was a problem with which way that arrow should have gone. So it goes back to Jersey Shore. They take it out underneath. 5 seconds to go here. They trail by 3, 25-22.
I'll tell you what, they ran a nice look last time. Got open for a 15-foot J that was good by the Pasqua. We'll see if they set her up again. They just duplicate. Loomis, oh, she loses it.
Yeah, it's a tough one there. Mickley was in good position to kind of shield her, not able to get a clean look. 3.3 to go here for Troy.
They're going to look 2, 1. They're going to get it off. Nope.
Good defense here by the Lady Bulldogs to prevent a shot. So at halftime, 25 Troy, 22 for the Lady Bulldogs.
Yeah, it's been a great game. I mean, you know, I really can't critique it through a negative lens. Of course, I think if you're a coach, you stop long enough to say, hey, there's a lot of things we can work on. You kind of see it not through a critical lens, but objectively critical in regard to things you can do. Very few forced turnovers, though. Not a lot of ugly up and down Australian rules football. I've been impressed by the half-court offensive sets. A couple times they get undisciplined, but that's the nature of the game. If you have an open look occasionally, you're going to pull the trigger. Good boxing out. Not a lot of cheap fouls. I mean, it's just been a well-executed game.
Lady Bulldogs doing some type of giveaway here on a Saturday afternoon, high school basketball coming into the crowd. Oh, sugar cookies, Nate. My goodness gracious. Crowd loving it. Getting hand-delivered cookies, I think, to the parents and relatives.
Wow, bang.
Very nice. Coach Shaw and the program. Nothing better than some sugar cookies in the afternoon.
Yeah, quick shout-out to Lynn Kyle, man. He loves Penn State wrestling. He's all over the place. And just appreciate you.
Well, they set the all-time record last night, Nate. So they had 2 dual meets. So they wrestled North Dakota State and Stanford at the Journeyman Duels, which I believe is down in Nashville, Tennessee, an annual tournament, dual meet tournament that they have every year. Penn State has gone to it for a number of years and was away. Now they're back. So that set the all-time record. So that goes all the way back, Nate, to the 1950s when Oklahoma State was Oklahoma A&M. They won 76 consecutive dual meets.
Wow.
Penn State just broke that last night. And just an incredible job by Coach Cale Sanderson, obviously, and anybody knows. And I saw the Bulldog wrestling team had a competitive but a tough loss to Shikellamy here, 47-27. But great to see the Bulldog wrestling team on the rise here in the PHAC against a very good Shikellamy team. Brody Rebuck leading the way there at heavyweight for the Braves.
Exactly. Well, you know, it wasn't long ago they were averaging 5 forfeits a night, and the forfeit is 6 points, and you're giving up 30. like it almost defeats the purpose. I know it's an individual sport, but it's a team sport. So I would get so frustrated knowing that you're already down 30-0 before you get off the bus. And there was a large woman singing in the background before they ever took the mat.
Well, it was great to see, though. They were down big to Muncie and then came all the way back with the heavyweights. And the heavyweight, I believe, is Barner, got the pin to get the win for the Bulldogs prior to that Shikellamy match earlier in the week. So really good to see the Bulldog wrestling team back. And wow, we have Joe Garrison from WBRE here today getting some coverage. So make sure you see Channel 28 on the news. This ball game will get some coverage there in the early slot at 6:30 and 7 o'clock. But we are DPP Sports, Nate, dogpoundproductions.com. Here are our First Lady Bulldog game here this winter. Looking forward to seeing 3 or 4 more here early in the new year in 2026.
Yeah, our next game will be January 5th. It'll be a boys contest, and we're looking forward to that. We're going to get a schedule out there so you can kind of look ahead, plan ahead. But the difference is, being able to come out, DPP Sports, dogpoundproductions.com, is just, we're an extension of the community. We want to be here for the kids. We want to broaden our regional reach. We've talked about some other opportunities that we have in the not too distant future to partner with some other school districts. We want to be able to come to you and cover it. And God has blessed us so richly in 2025 with the launch and the viewership. I mean, with football, Doug, we averaged around 3,500 views a game, which was absolutely incredible to think that. And we had some hurdles. We had to overcome some things. We had some technical issues down at Selinsgrove, and we also had a YouTube channel issue this year. But nonetheless, we're back up. Share the link. Click subscribe, because every time we go live, what you're going to find is you're going to get a live update. And just subscribe, support your kids, and if you can, get out to a game.
Always good to see anyone covering local, high school, regional sports here in Lycoming and Clinton County, and DPP Sports, dogpoundproduction.com leading the way. So I'll give one more comment on the football season. So as we know, Jersey Shore had a really solid year at 8-4, lost again to Shamokin, the Indians, in the District 4 4A final. Shamokin, boy, Nate, they had a chance. They lost by 3 to Southern Lehigh. Gave up the lead right at the end of the ball game, so they were not able to advance into the state semifinals. That was a quarterfinal game, and then Southern Lehigh went on to win the 4A state title. So again, great to see the PHAC teams being very competitive, and a team that Jersey Shore will see next year, Southern Columbia, 2A level, won their 15th state title, again at the 2A level, winning big in the state final. Coach Roth has them rolling again because they had a pretty young team overall, so that'll be a big challenge for the Bulldogs next year in fall of 2026.
Well, what was crazy for me was that the Western bracket in Quad A wasn't any stronger this year. Southern Lehigh had a great running back, rushed for 2,500 yards. He was electric, but Shamokin had them beat by 14 at one point in that game. Southern Lehigh battled back, won that contest, went on to win the state title.
Yeah, and I'm really interested to see, Shamokin's got a lot of good young players, but they lose some key components here. Isaac Glover, the big guy in the middle that we talked endlessly about, nose guard, center. They lose Zakeem Clinton as well. They lose that punter and wide receiver player. But the key guy back, of course, is the quarterback, the all-athlete type of guy. He's going to be the way. It'll be interesting to see next year as he continues to get the offers from the Division I level. Do they say, hey, son, listen, you're not a quarterback. How about if you go to a wide receiver slot back position, because you're probably going to play on the defensive side from a safety where he is tremendous, and with the return game as well. Say, listen, we'd really like maybe if you don't take the shots that you get at that quarterback position.
My gosh.
Because you have an opportunity at the next level, as Nate talked, to get that NIL money. Here's the funny thing. We were just talking recently about basketball at the Division II level. So a few years ago, they had a point guard by the name of Schultz, who was from the Wilkes-Barre-Scranton area. Young man, probably a borderline Division I guy, but grades weren't so good. People were so he ends up at Lock Haven University.
Right.
All conference as a freshman, tremendous player. Second part of the season, he was the best player in the league. Comes back for his sophomore year, and he's the player of the year in the PSAC Division II. Jerry McNamara gets hired as the coach at Siena, Division I. Siena program, historically pretty good, but had not been good for about a decade. So Jerry McNamara gets his first head coaching job at Siena. What's his first call? Wilkes-Barre Scranton area to the Schultz kid, He transfers to Siena, has a really solid year last year as a junior. Started off on the bench, ends up being a real nice player, starter, double digits, etc. This year, Nate, NIL, a couple $100,000 from Division II.
Wow.
To that lower level of Division I, but Siena doesn't have football, so basketball, men and women, that's their thing. And they're good. They're 9-2 this year to start the year going into the semester break. So it's interesting to see the transition. And I talked to Coach Nestor, and he said, hey, we were sorry to lose him. He was the best player in our conference his sophomore year, last year at LSU. But he said, hey, God bless you, son. Go to that Division I level and get the money that you can get and see if you can have an opportunity maybe to play overseas. He's not an NBA guy. He's not big enough at 6'1", 6'2". But, hey, he could play a 5-10-year career overseas. Chevy Troutman, great example at Pitt. Great player in college, but really wasn't big enough, was a tweener. Ended up playing 10, 15 years overseas. And made a living out of it. So it's really interesting, that NIL thing. A little bit of a diversion here as we are Lady Bulldog basketball, high school girls basketball. Troy Trojans lead 25-22. We're about midway through the break here at halftime.
You mentioned Siena College. My mind went right to Jimmy Mextorf, Williamsport State Championship winner with Pete White. Pete White Jr. was on that team, Jimmy Mextorf, Jeff Churba. I go back, there were some other players that were phenomenal, but I'll never forget watching Williamsport that year. I was like 12 years old. My dad took me to March Hall down in Pottsville, and it was incredible. There were 9 dunks in that game. My hair is standing on end telling you the story. My dad and I were behind the rim when Chester came out, and they were just massive. But Williamsport was just the incredible man-to-man defense. I can still remember, Doug, when it came to the offensive side against the man, they simply ran the replace. And against zone, they ran the kiss and the yo-yo. And I can still remember those offenses because even though you knew what they ran, you couldn't stop them.
Well, Pete White, he was there for a long time and really had Williamsport at that upper competitive level. But what's interesting now, Williamsport is good. And they're still independent in boys and girls basketball, but they're in the PHAC and all the other sports. And there's been talk that maybe the girls on the basketball side will join the PHAC. Because even though they're at this 6A level, teams can compete with them. The boys, a little bit of a separation there, but boy, during those Pete White years, Nate, they were another level above. They were super good.
Well, you know, and people talk about the Berwick years and the Williamsport years and all the recruiting and everything, but the reality is this, man. When we talk about the difference between the charter preparatory, if there's not here's my argument. Here's my rebuttal for every public school out there. Now, if you have several people move in, and I get it, you know, you move up a classification or whatever when you're public. But the reality is, you look at the St. Joe's, you look at the Malvern Preps, you look at the Bishop McDevitt's, Cardinal Bishop O'Hara, you look at the Philadelphia Catholic League, you look at all the privates. They bring them in from outside of the state. So when it came to Williamsport those years, if you wanted to win, you came to Williamsport, you wanted to be a millionaire. If you wanted to win in football, I think Pete White had the most incredible tenure. I think when you look at Berwick, Coach Curry, his 10 commandments of coaching, I mean, the Berwick power plant, call it what you want. You wanted to play for Berwick. He had over 100 D1 players come through his program.
Yeah, opportunity. Coach Curry in football always preached that. I know Pete White did as well. You know, people forget they won that state title that you talked about, but then they won a later one a number of years later, right at the end of Pete White's career. They got a second state title, and they've been very competitive. Now, they've not been at that level, at that upper level of 6A for probably a good 10, 15 years. But, man, that 6A level in basketball, it is very, very good.
It's very good. And you know, it's going to be interesting to take a look at what happens here in the second half as Troy's come out. There's only about 3 minutes left to go. They're beginning to shoot around, but Jersey Shore's been out for a while. I think they know what they want to do, but, you know, phenomenal coaching on both sides of the ball. I mean, offensively, they're setting things up. Defensively, they both pressured, occasionally sit back in his zone, but that's only for a little change of pace, a little different look. Both teams matching up man-to-man, which you don't always typically see in high school girls basketball.
Yeah, and we talked about it is a good matchup when you talk about years of experience. For Troy, they have 2 juniors on the roster, Gianna Renzi, the point guard, and Mickley, the center. Then they have 6 sophomores and 5 freshmen on their roster. So very young team, very similar to Jersey Shore, who has a few more total on their roster. 2 seniors, Loomis and DePasqua. But then overall, pretty young team, including Marley Lehman. Number of minutes there in the first half. So Coach Shaw has really done a nice job. You know, again, anytime you lose that elite athlete, that Peyton Dincher type athlete who had size and skill and had 4 years of very competitive teams, sometimes that transition year is really difficult. But the Bulldogs, Lady Bulldogs, come in at 3-2. No matter what happens today, they'll either be 4-2 or 3-3. That's a nice competitive start to the year here for the Lady Bulldogs. And we talked about it. They have 2 more games here before the break. So they play Lewisburg on the 23rd. And then they play Loyalsock Township on the 29th. So that'll be interesting to see Loyalsock with the Dotsey girl, who's a Division I athlete, but missing 2 or 3 starters with injuries at this point in time. Be interesting to see that matchup as well. So both teams ready to go. About a minute and a half here to go. Again, Troy will enter quarter number 3 up 25-22.
Yeah, I was really impressed with the first half. Again, anything can happen here. You know, both teams knocking down free throws, too, just like we talked about, all things fundamental. And it's exciting.
So the lineup that's coming out here, I believe, for Troy is the same lineup that started a ball game. 20 Woodward, 22 Isabella Renzi, 23 Gianna Renzi, 32 Kea Renzo, and 33 Mickley. For Shore, it's Franz, Lehman, Sadie Shaw, Katie Shaw, and DePasqua. Troy will get the ball here to start quarter number 3, and they are up 3. Renzi at the point. Over the wing to Woodward. Pretty deliberate pace here to start this first offensive set.
Yeah, for sure. They're up in the tempo. We talked about this. Didn't know you could turn it up a notch. They went from the frying pan to the fire on defense.
Matchup zone 1-3-1 here for the Lady Bulldogs. France comes all the way out into the corner there. Have to be careful you don't give up that lane to Mickley.
Ball reversal. They're going to look to pound it inside. Nothing doing. Good defense. Good shift there by the Lady Bulldogs.
Yep, really good spacing. Go underneath here. Now into Mickley. France is there to tie that one up.
Oh, baby.
And that will be a turnover to the Bulldogs. So even though Mickley has a size advantage, they don't look to her, does Troy, inside on the offensive side very often. Tried to go there, leads to a turnover. Lehman brings the ball down here for Jersey Shore.
DePasqua on the wing. Going to filter through. I like the back cuts, too. Over to Lehman. Lehman's going to pull from deep. Oh, that's a nice shot.
Yep, had that one all set up there, just off the rim a little bit, trying to go deep here to Woodward. Mickley with the boards. Hard off there, tie up.
France ripped it.
Rips it away. Nice job.
Lehman kicks it to the corner. Sadie Shaw reverses. France. DePasqua. Over to Kylie. Sadie has it now. Boy, they're moving. They're moving and grooving.
And Troy does a nice job with their spacing on defense as well. It's a good left-handed shot in there by Sadie Shaw, but kind of lost control of it on the way up.
Going to kick. Woodward's going to pull. This one's short. Good box out by France. I love the fundamentals. DePasqua to Kylie. Kylie to Sadie. Sadie up. Just off the mark. Those are the kind of shots you want back.
Yeah, you got to get that up in the glass to have a chance to go in. Short arm that one a little bit with the defender coming at her.
Backdoor. Oh, too hard off the backboard. Well, she wants that. Two layups in a row, Doug.
Good tie up inside there by Sadie Shaw. Ball will stay with Troy. Inbounds underneath. Over the top to Woodward. Boy, back inside, nobody there.
Wow, nice up by Kaya Renzo on the finish.
Yeah, just kind of a lapse there defensively to allow that person to cut through the lane. Troy up 5.
Boom! Kylie Shaw.
Saw it, took it, hit it. That's what you like to see. Three-pointer brings them back within 2.
Almost a double dribble there by
Good
Woodward.
recovery by Lehman on the defensive side. That was a travel there that officials missed, but now they're going to get a reach in on the Bulldogs. On Lehman.
Yeah.
They were putting the fouls up in the first half. Yep, Lehman's second foul of the ball game. Loomis comes in to replace France.
Oh, good.
Nice. Really good anticipatory defense there by Sadie Shaw. Leads to the tie-up. We'll go to the Bulldogs.
Yeah, the Lady Dogs down 25-27, 5:05 to go here. Third quarter. Lehman brings it up, crosses the timeline. Kylie Shaw, dribble reversal. DePasqua pounds it inside to Sadie.
Yeah.
Sadie kicks it back out. Lehman pulls. Just off the mark.
That's a good shot by Lehman, but she's got to have her feet set a little bit more. Had to shuffle to get ready and left that one a little short.
Beautiful pass to Woodward. Woodward up, off the mark. Good bound.
Yeah, Meckley inside uses her size advantage there to put that one back. Troy up 4, 29-25.
Lehman kicks it to Kylie. Shaw gives it to DePasqua. Good patience here. They need a good layup. They need a good look.
Off the foot of the Troy defender, Woodward. Yeah, Lehman's got to learn when she passes it either from the point of the wing. She's got to cut through. She's got to kind of create space there. She's kind of staying exactly where she are, and the defense doesn't have to do anything. They can just stay right where they are.
Good half-court set here, inbounds underneath the basket. Loomis to DePasqua. Shaw kicks it weak side. Lehman, nice penetration. Up. Ooh, doesn't get the foul. Good defense by Woodward.
Yeah, you have to go that way. Clean there defensively.
Ooh, I thought they were going to call a travel. Called the block.
Yeah, I could have probably got the reach by Lehman, but ended up getting the block on Sadie Shaw. Yeah, usually when that offensive player is under control with the dribble, that call is going to go against the defense, and it did there. Troy inbounds underneath.
Troy, good penetration, kickback to the wing. Renzo takes it baseline, up hard, nice take.
She's used that up and under move several times, rewarded there, stretches the lead out to 6.
Kylie Shaw on the wing, pounds it into Sadie. Sadie turns left hand up, no good.
Good hustle there to get that offensive rebound. Really nice job. Yeah, you could tell DePasqua didn't really have a hold of that when they shoot it, and that three-pointer ended up being a line drive, but they get the foul underneath, not against DePasqua on the shot. So the Bulldogs will have it inbounds off to the right side, trailing by 6, 3:24 to go here, third quarter.
Kylie Shaw inbound to Lehman. Lehman looks high post. Sadie, does she get one? No. Everything just a little short inside the paint.
Yep.
Here comes Troy.
Good moves there. Got to get it up to give it a chance to go over the front of that rim. Good hands there by DePasqua.
Ball reversal. 15 feet, kick it out. Troy with a reset. Nice defense by DePasqua. They wanted the back cut.
Cut inside, got the steal there. Bulldogs getting some shots on the offensive side, but not creating the movement they need here offensively. Down 6 again, 31-25 Troy.
Lehman to DePasqua. Ball reversal. Kylie Shaw tries to kick it into Sadie Shaw. She has back to the high post. Nope. Just aggressive defense down low.
Renzo with the knockaway there. Woodward.
Bang.
Three-pointer there. That's going to stretch it out. And Coach Shaw needs that timeout and calls it there at 2:09 to go here. Troy stretches that out to a 9-point lead.
Yeah, and just that little bit of a stretch there, it was close. It was within 2 at one point. We're going to make a quick shout out to our sponsors. Integrated Accounting and Consulting, 484-1947, www.integratedacs.com, Lewisburg, 120 Cambridge Lane. Check them out. Bob Boob, First Choice Century, 21-398-0690. Clark's Expert Sales and Service. Thank you, Ron Clark, at 321-8206. Evergreen Wealth, Todd Rischel. It all starts with a conversation. EvergreenWealthSolutions.com, 601-6960. Jiffy Market, where would we be without Alan and the crew? 398-3499. Man, delicious food made fresh, friendly, always, and we appreciate you. So, Susquehanna Trailway, Starway Roofing, and Steinbacher, Goodall, and Yurchik. 2:09, Doug, 34-25. That little run by Troy felt painful to the Bulldogs.
If you're Troy, you're happy with that run. Puts you up 9. France will come back in the ball game. The offense kind of stalled when she went out, even though the Bulldogs got a couple nice shots in the lane, not able to convert. Lehman going to bring this one down. Bulldogs, they do need a basket here or an opportunity for some free throws. Needs a point. Ditcher in the ball game as well.
Yeah, she's getting rid of that ball. Oh, that hurts.
Yeah, tried to go inside there and kind of pass right at the feet of France. Not able to handle it. Another turnover for the Lady Bulldogs. Really important stretch here. Trying to get the turnover on the press.
That's a travel.
That's a travel right there.
Now, if you recall, Doug, the press kind of hurt the Lady Dogs in the first half. Troy got a lot in transition. We'll see if but the Dogs have no choice. They've got to try to make some things happen. We'll see how long they stay in it. They do get the turnover there, 143-34-25.
Yep, just needed a little bit more movement here offensively. DePasqua comes back in, replacing Loomis. Troy doing a great job here in the matchup man-to-man. 2-3, and then they go out and match up when that player has the ball in their zone area. Yeah, not a whole lot of movement, not a whole lot of cutting here for the Lady Bulldogs offensively. DePasqua with the 3. Rims out. Watson with the rebound for Troy, trying to get this lead into double digits. Good steal opportunity there. That's turnover. A travel. That's a travel right there. I agree. She went down, but they're not going to call it. Going to do the tie-up, and it will stay here for Troy.
Yeah, I agree. That should be a travel. Should have been a travel. Unfortunately, not a travel. 1 minute to go here. Troy's got the ball on their side of the court, looking to go up double digits.
Renzi gets it inbounds, gets it back to lead the offense, trying to go down deep. Oh, nice turn move there.
Yeah,
by
beautiful.
Renzo. Really nice job there. The lead goes to double digits, 36-25. Bulldogs need some points, but they can't be impatient. They have to get a good shot here.
Lehman did a pass with a pass. Looks at Dincher, kicks it back to Lehman. Lehman wants to stop and pull the trigger, but she reverses the ball.
Steal by Renzi. Gonna have an opportunity for a run out here by Watson. Good hard defense there, no foul.
Lehman inside, France gonna turn, she's gonna pop, pull it. Good.
Nice assist there by Lehman. The Bulldogs get that needed basket. Third quarter gonna run out here with a couple seconds to go. Troy okay to take the lead into the fourth quarter, 36-27, so they are up 9, are the Lady.
We'll see what the Bulldogs do here. 8 minutes to go. One more quarter, down 27-36. So Troy went on a run. Troy had a run there in the third quarter, which made it challenging. The Lady Dogs had a little undisciplined, couple of turnovers. And they did get the ball in the paint a lot, just couldn't convert.
Yeah, got some nice shots in there. Just looked a little bit of leg weary in that third quarter offensively, not able to get the stretch. So Troy stretches that lead out to 9, and that is the way it goes into the fourth quarter, 36-27. Good matchup, but Troy able to stretch that lead out in quarter number 3. Bulldogs are going to need a good start to this fourth quarter, have a chance to stay in this ball game, have a chance to see if they can get that lead down where they have a possession or two to possibly take the lead. But these first couple minutes of quarter number 4 will tell the tale.
Absolutely. It's been incredible, Doug, to talk about what we've noticed, and very fortunate to be covering this game today. Again, thank you to all of our sponsors. We appreciate you, and we look forward to bringing you more broadcasts. Lady Bulldogs.
Kylie Shaw into Lehman to start quarter number 4.
Lehman gets a screen from Franz, kicks it to Kylie Shaw. Down the paint, some body checking going on. DePasqua, Lehman, Kylie, inside to Sadie. Sadie kicks it out. Lehman pulls. Oh, that looked so good.
Yeah, had the feet set, but all of her shots here in the second half have been rim first. Just a little bit of a line drive, something she'll have to work on before the next ball game. Troy, more than likely, going to weave this one out here, burn off some time unless they get an open layup. Up 9.
Down the paint, nice left.
And they get that open layup.
Beautiful take there by number 23, Gianna Renzi.
Yep, Renzi with that left-handed layup. Bulldogs down 11, 27-38. They go in the front. She's double team. Somebody's got to be open.
Ooh, the pass was going to get 3 shots.
Yeah, not a good foul there by Renzi. Coach Renzi saying, daughter, what are you doing? Daughter number 1. Not a good foul, so Nebraska will get 3 foul shots here.
Yeah, it's been a chilly day here in Central PA. Sun was out this morning. Beautiful, great day to be a Bulldog. Up and good by DePasqua. If she hits these 3, it's really clutch.
And Coach Shaw wants to get a defensive set here after the free throw opportunities by DePasqua, because like you said, Nate, if she's able to make 2 or all 3 of these, all of a sudden you go from an 11-point deficit down to 8. If you can get a turnover or 2 quickly, and all of a sudden you get into that danger territory if you're the Troy Lady Trojans.
You know, both teams disciplined. I think the difference right now, the size factor has been a little bit of a problem, and Troy executing some back cuts a little better today. But other than that, you know, it's been a fairly equal contest, and
very even matchup here. Troy probably just a little bit more disciplined on the offensive side, maybe a little bit more skilled offensively, particularly in finishing low. DePasqua good on that second free throw attempt. 38-29 is a deficit for the Lady Bulldogs.
But I'm very impressed with the foul shooting. Bang, 3 for DePasqua.
Very nice. So press out of the timeout, exactly what you would think.
Bulldogs down 8.
Boy, had a couple tips there, not able to get the steal. And Troy will settle in. Renzi will lead the way here. Got a layup last time by her to finish it off. They'll take some time, burn as much as they can.
Ooh, that nearly got to the sideline. Troy going to reverse the ball. Good defense by the Bulldogs. Penetration. Kick back out.
Nice job by Renzi there to kind of clear that out, respace everything for Troy.
Stops. Oh, she changed pivot feet there. Kick it back out. There's almost the travel. Inside, up and under. No good. France with the rebound, loose ball. Bulldogs down 8, 6:08 to go.
Good patient defense there by Jersey Shore. Shaw, if she would have turned to the right, she would have had an easy layup there, made that one a little bit more difficult.
And that's a good foul. That's a good foul. You know, France goes up. You know, hey, you can't give him a free look.
Yeah, France is a little frustrated, but she's right. She had to bang real hard there to prevent the shot from having a chance to go in. But Troy will have a chance. 2 foul shots here. Kaya Renzo.
I want to know what the free throw percentage is today, Doug.
Super.
I mean, nothing but nylon right there.
Really good job on both sides.
I had a T-shirt in high school that said "Twine time." My place or your place or mine. Twine time, baby. Ooh, that just when I said it. Mickley.
Good fight there by Mickley, but Shore comes away with it.
Lady Dogs down 9. Sadie Shaw gets it out to DePasqua.
Still plenty of time. 5:41 to go here in the ball game.
Sadie Shaw going to kick this top key reversal. Good job. Kylie pulls it just long. France there with the Sadie Shaw. This one's off. Unfortunately misses the mark. Troy with the rebound. Troy's going to look. They got numbers.
Good recovery there by the Bulldogs. They didn't give up on that one and hustled back to force the turnover by Renzo. Yeah, that's a big possession there because if Troy converts, they push that lead back into double digits.
Lehman brings the ball over the timeline, just past the JS here. We're at the high school today, bringing Lady Bulldogs basketball. Troy Trojans here, currently up 9. France turns. Oh, they just can't buy a bucket inside of 12 feet.
Yeah, tough angle there. Boy, she almost got it up. Did exactly what she needed to do, get it off the glass and give it a chance to go in. Just rolled off. So the offense has been a little bit of a struggle here in the second half for Jersey Shore.
Troy sets it up. They've been disciplined this entire night. Reversal. Gianna Renzo kicks it out. Woodward's going to pop from deep. Off the mark. Good rebound by Kylie Shaw. Gets it to Lehman. Lehman, reversal. Nice behind the back. DePasqua. They need to stop the bleeding. They need a good bucket here. Lehman up and good.
That's a good response by the freshman point guard. Gets that lead down to 7. Need a turnover here for the Bulldogs. 4:03 to go here. Bulldogs trail by 7. Coach Renzi said, hey, let's take a full timeout here to talk about what we want to do on the offensive side.
So anyway, Doug, have you ever gotten on the bus? SusquehannaBus.com. 753-5125. You can't beat it. Hey, you need a job. Call them. Get on the phone. Again, 753-5125 or check them out at SusquehannaBus.com. Employment opportunities you just can't refuse in 2026. They need bus drivers, whether you're going to take that trip to the Cherry Blossom Festival, which is where I wish we were going right now at 20 degrees outside. And also Starway Roofing, 814-281-9164. You can't beat Starway, Central PA's highest rated roofing company. Steinbacher, Goodall, and Yurchik. Julie Steinbacher, always answering the call. We appreciate you so much here in Jersey Shore. 322-2077. Multiple law firms, State College. She's all over the place. Wyalusing, Williamsport, Steinbacher, Goodall, and Yurchik. Right now, 4 minutes to go. This fourth quarter, it's turning out to be a barn burner here. You know, Troy had a couple of spurts, and that's the difference. And it was about a 2-minute spurt there in the third quarter. The Bulldogs bouncing back. France really doing a nice job inside. In overall, the Lady Dogs have been disciplined on the offensive side, playing some aggressive defense as well. Troy to inbound.
Important set here offensively, obviously, for Troy. Defensively for the Bulldogs. They still come out in that 1-2-2 zone defense. Does Jersey Shore now match up when the player comes into their zone?
Woodward, there's a kick.
The kick there. Off the foot of Kylie Shaw. Side out for Troy.
The pass with guarding the inbounds. France down low, comes up top. Troy's going to have to get this in. That's a 5. Oh, nearly a 5-second call. Albert was on that, just short of 5. Crowd's getting louder.
Troy content to kind of keep it on the periphery outside the key.
Bulldogs may have to get to a point. There's still 3.5 to go here where they may have to foul.
Yep, they switched to it.
Oh, nice look to Woodward. Oh,
kind of got free, went to the man-to-man defense and able to get a bump off to go free, get that lead back to 9. A little pressure by the Bulldogs. Got to go up there if you're Lehman.
France, and she gets fouled. I'm telling you, what's impressed me most about France is her awareness to kind of hang around the rim. We used to call them garbage points, garbage opportunities, but they're never garbage when you put yourself in a position to extend possessions on the offensive side of the rebounding.
She's very good. Knows where to place herself to have an opportunity to at least get a hand on the rebound. Does there, gets rewarded with the foul shot opportunity. Left-hander up and in. Was so few left-handed players that you see at the high school and even the college level.
Yeah, I completely agree. France, good.
Smooth. I tell you, foul shots, impressive. Both sides of the ledger here tonight. France replaced on the defensive side by Sadie Shaw.
I think I'm impressed more with that, too, because how many collegiate players do you know that may be dominant, can't make foul shots?
Oh, there are a ton.
Troy. Good defense by Loomis. Troy up 7, 2:53 to go, fourth quarter. 41-34.
Still a time to make a run if you're Jersey Shore, but boy, you need a turnover here if you can get it.
Woodward,
double defense out, trying to force that. Player down for Troy. Timeout, Renzi. You saw it was starting to get a little frantic there.
Yeah.
Had a player down. Offense kind of out of whack there for Troy. Good timeout there by Stephen Renzi, the coach for Troy.
You know, you can't take your timeouts home.
Can't take them home, baby.
And the reality is, I've always been impressed with coaches that utilize their timeouts as well. You know, I've seen coaches take timeouts on the back end of a 6-0 run. Everyone's, you take them, they're reactionary. No, when you're proactive a lot of times, there's moments like that, but there's also moments where you go up 6 in a spurt and you call a timeout because you come out and put even more heat on. So Troy very well coached, Jersey Shore very well coached, and it's been a great day.
Yeah, this ball game's still up in the air. 2:38 to go. Jersey Shore trails by 7, 41-34. They need a turnover here or a turn away on the offensive side if you're the Lady Bulldogs.
Everybody working. Woodward gives it up. Good pressure by DePasco, and then Kylie Shaw gets a turnover. Lehman wide open. Can she get the transition? And she does.
Good
beautiful,
there.
beautiful transition.
Really good spacing there. Lead down to 5.
Another one. What a push by the Lady Bulldogs. Kylie Shaw stops. Lehman's there. Oh, kick. I thought it was a kick, but it went off a Bulldog.
Yep, off of Lehman's foot. Got a good look there. Not able to get it. Frantic pace continues. Full court press here.
Woodward, good defense. Nearly hit her out of bounds.
Yeah, no foul by Lehman there, so a good reach in. She wouldn't have cared if there was a foul, but Troy maintains possession. 2:06 to go. Bulldogs trail by 5, 36-41.
Renzi inbounds the ball to Renzo. Back to the top of the key. They want the ball in her hands.
Oh, absolutely, but boy, they're way out by the half-court line. Defensive pressure forcing them there.
Woodward on the bump, on the push. Here's the problem, Doug. The Lady Dogs are a long way away from the 1-and-1. They got to get them up to 5.
Yeah, at this point, counting more on the turnovers and a tie-up ball, even though the tie-up currently stays with Troy. Trying to use that defensive pressure to get the turnover they need.
Sadie Shaw pressuring with DePasca. Good defense by the Lady Dogs. They're going to have to burn some timeouts here. Or fouls, I should say.
Man, almost had it. Thought it was going to be out of bounds on the bounce there, but DePasqua stayed in bounds, and then she touched it right on the line.
Yes.
Minute 30 to go here. Timeout, Coach Shaw. He's going to say exactly what you mentioned, Nate. Hey, listen, great defense, great hustle. Almost got the turnover, but we're down 5. You're going to have to foul because they don't go to the line until you get the 5 fouls. They're going to have to burn those up here.
Well, they turned up the heat, got the beautiful layup in transition with Lehman. The Bulldogs right now, Lady Dogs, 1:30 to go, down 41-36. They got a little bit of a push. Unfortunately, they got the second turnover and could not get that bucket. And then you look at the one reason why I really don't care for the free throw rules, and it's debatable both sides of the fence, is that every quarter you get a reset. And I'll tell you what, you got to foul consistently to get to 5. And when it's late in the game like this and you need to stop the clock because there is no shot clock, it's tough.
So Renzi will inbound it here for Troy. You can bet if the Bulldogs don't get a turnover early, they're going to foul, would be my guess. Troy doing a good job of takeaway, going to get it there.
Lehman, oh, she couldn't see it. She could not see
The
it.
official's going to ask. They didn't mention there. Oh, yes, it goes to Jersey Shore. I thought that went off of red there. So the Bulldogs do get the turnover. 1:18 to go, down 5.
Coach Renzi didn't like that from Troy. Thought maybe it would go the other way. Lehman, 1:18 to go, down 5. They want to get a good look here.
Yeah,
they
don't need a 3. You just need points. Any way you can get points, you need points. Foul shot, 2-pointer.
Lehman to Sadie Shaw.
Yeah, now the spacing is not good, and that's what often happens in these situations. Got the block. Did Woodward. Boy, you get the tie up, turn away. Oh, threw it away.
Down to Woodward the other way, and that's going to lead to transition. Oh, and she misses it. DePasqua gets it to Kylie Shaw. Kylie's going to look to Lehman here on the wing. France kicks it back out to DePasqua. This one's short.
Yeah, there you can see where the legs, all the hustle in the last minute or two. Nothing on that one for DePasqua. Unfortunately, leg-wise, leaves it well short. 34.2 to go. So the Bulldogs have gotten the turnovers that they've looked for, have not been able to convert on the offensive side.
Yeah, unfortunately, they've played some exceptional defense. Troy trying to break this press. France over the back, and that's a good foul. You've got to find a way to stop it. You don't have that many possessions left.
Yeah, Fran's kind of shaking her head, but you should foul there no matter what. And you need 2 more to get them to the free throw line. If you don't get that turnover in the first couple seconds, they should foul immediately.
Troy up 41-36, 30.4 to go here, fourth quarter. That's 4 fouls on France.
Troy with the lineup inbounds play. Going to spread it here. Going to get that ball back to Renzi.
That's a travel. Woo, just almost.
Yeah, got the reach in there, no matter who that goes against. Goes against Loomis there, 20.7. Still have a foul you have to give if you're Jersey Shore.
I mean, you think about it, Doug, with the free throw rules, why don't this, I mean.
Takes you forever to get there.
I mean, if you do the math, in 4 quarters, it's 20 fouls.
That's a nice job by Troy to spread it out. Not a lot of Jersey Shore to get in there. You got to get a reach in there, ladies, or this is going to run out, and it is. Troy doing a great job of using the spacing, so finally Loomis gets the foul they needed probably 15 seconds ago to have an opportunity.
Now, you think about that, right? In 4 quarters, to get to 5 fouls to 1-1, you got to burn 20 fouls, right? That means 4 of your roster fouls out.
Oh, it's a ton. Yeah, it used to be 7. So if you got 7.5, you were in the 1-on-1, and that's a big difference. That's 3 more fouls. Watson rims out. 7.6 seconds ago. Coach Shaw will take the timeout, as he should, but boy, unfortunately, you didn't have a chance to get that turnover in that one offensive possession, Nate, where the ball went off of Lehman's foot after the Shaw and DePasqua. That was a tough one. If you would have got that, gotten it to within a single possession, a 3, then you really can put the pressure on, and all of a sudden the offensive team is thinking a little bit too much about what they want to do. If she makes one of these field goals, though, Bulldogs probably going to run out of time.
Here's what I can tell you. I see vast improvements, okay? It wasn't a turnover frenzy. Foul shots were made. Offensive sets were run. Defense hustled. You know, similar to the boys' team, you know, I see them getting more discipline. But this girls' team is really in shape.
Oh, they're very good. For a young team, in that transition year, after losing your star player of the last 4 years, this is a very competitive team. And again, this is not a team that's going to go 20-2 and run into the playoffs, but they're going to be in a lot of ball games against a lot of teams here, particularly as the PHAC season gets underway here in the next couple weeks.
Exactly.
So Watson with the foul shot has an opportunity to get this lead to 6 with 7.6 seconds to go. Bulldogs will need a 3 quickly after this foul shot.
You like that Albert Jones smile. Short, cross the foul line. He's on that call. Did you see that? 7.2 to go.
A little sliver of life here, but the Bulldogs need a 3 here quickly.
They got to reverse it. Lehman gonna stop and pop. Oh, just long, but she hustled for that. You know, and that's the game. Troy comes away on the road, 41-36. But I got to tell you, I was really impressed today by the Lady Dogs. You know, Troy literally hung with Central Columbia. You know, Central Columbia makes a run towards the state title last year, starting 5. Listen to this. Last year, 5 of their 7 rotation, Doug, were freshmen. Central Columbia is young, but they've won like 3 or 4 state titles in the girls' soccer arena. You want to talk about athletics? They don't die. They're like Energizer bunnies down there. They beat Loyal Sock by 25. Troy only lost to Central by like 13, right? So look at this. The Lady Dogs hung with a good Troy team today.
They really did. So Troy with the win, 41-36. They go to 5-1. Just on their schedule, they're at St. Mary's of New York on the 27th, and then they're in a tournament on the 29th and 30th. Teams to be announced. Again, we talked about Jersey Shore. They will play at Lewisburg and then the Loyalsock Township here at Jersey Shore on the 23rd and then the 29th, and then they flip over into the new year on the road at Selinsgrove. So a tough loss here for the Lady Bulldogs. They even their record at 3-3, 5-point loss here to the Lady Trojans of Troy, 41-36.
Yeah, and it's been a great day. You know, when I think about coming to, you know, a basketball game, you know, I got my money's worth today. You know, we're covering the broadcast, but I love to see fundamental basketball. Hats off to the Lady Dogs. A hard-fought game. You know, there was a stretch there where there was cellophane on the rim. They couldn't get a bucket. They couldn't buy a bucket. They were getting good looks, and those types of things happen. I'd rather see missed shots with offensive sets being run than a lot of makes in undisciplined basketball.
Really good effort here today by the Lady Bulldogs under Coach Mike Shaw. Again, their record even at 3-3, 41-36 here on the ledger today. Troy goes away with a road win to improve to 5-1. Very nice team. It'll be interesting to follow them as their Northern Tier League schedule gets underway as well.
Absolutely. But, you know, it's always a great day to be a Bulldog, and hats off to Coach Mike Shaw, Father Dave, big part of the program, and just all the coaches. You know, Troy comes on the road. I want to give a quick shout out to Coach Steven Renzi. What a great job he's doing up there with the Troy Trojans. The Lady Trojans are going to be a team to be reckoned with. I'll be surprised. I looked at their schedule. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't lose a game.
Yeah, they could win that NTL. The NTL in girls basketball, not the best. A little bit down, and Troy's been really competitive, particularly on the boys' side, both basketball and obviously football the last number of years. So I would think the Troy Ladies Trojans have a chance to win that NTL league.
Absolutely. Well, listen, we appreciate you tuning in. DPP Sports, DogPoundProductions.com. You do not want to miss the action here this winter as we continue to bring you Lady Bulldog and you know, the boys Bulldog program. We're going to be going and covering a few more games, 8 or 9 total games left on the schedule, and we look forward to that. Don't forget too, as well, lots going on here in the region with the King of the Mountain, I believe, wrestling tournament's going on today. We're going to try to get you a dual meet of some sort in the not too distant future as well. Remember, phone a friend, use a lifeline, get out there, tell someone to click subscribe, become a part of the Strays here at the Pound. Again, we appreciate you. Have a great day.